The vast, lonely expanse of the North Sea is home to some of the most isolated structures on Earth, oil rigs. These steel giants are cities unto themselves, buzzing with activity day and night. But what if one of these bustling hubs of industry just stopped? What if, in the blink of an eye, every single soul on board vanished without a trace? Tonight, we delve into the chilling mystery of the Oakhaven platform, an oil rig that was abandoned overnight, leaving behind only silence and a single terrifying audio recording. Our story begins on a calm morning, October 17, 1998. The supply vessel, Sea Serpent, was making its routine weekly run to the Oakhaven platform. The captain, a seasoned mariner named Arthur Jensen, expected the usual scene. Cranes swinging into action, crew members shouting greetings from the railings. Instead, he was met with an unnerving stillness. The rig stood silent, a ghost against the gray sky. No cranes moved, no voices called out. An eerie quiet had fallen over the platform, a quiet that simply shouldn't exist miles from shore. Captain Jensen hailed the rig on the radio. Once, twice, 10 times. The only response was static. A growing sense of dread crept over him and his crew. Standard procedure dictated that in the event of a radio blackout, a series of flare signals should be initiated. Nothing. After an hour of fruitless attempts to make contact, Jensen made a call that would trigger a massive maritime investigation. He reported the Oakhaven platform as unresponsive. Within hours, a Coast Guard helicopter was dispatched. The aerial view confirmed Jensen's report. The platform looked pristine but deserted. The lifeboats were all in their cradles, untouched. There were no signs of a fire, an explosion, or any kind of structural failure. It was as if the 115 crew members had simply evaporated. The helicopter crew made the decision to winch down a two-man search team onto the helideck. What they found only deepened the mystery. The scene was surreal. In the mess hall, half-eaten meals sat on tables, coffee still warm in mugs. In the recreation room, a snooker game was left mid-shot, balls scattered on the felt. In the crew quarters, bunks were unmade, personal belongings left behind, wallets, family photos, books open to the last page read. It was a snapshot of life, frozen in time. The entire rig was a modern-day ghost ship, but this one was anchored to the seabed. The search team moved methodically through the sprawling complex. Every room told the same story. People were here one moment and gone the next. There were no signs of a struggle, no notes, no clues as to what could have caused a mass evacuation, let alone one so sudden that people would leave their food mid-bite. Investigators were baffled. How could 115 people disappear from a self-contained metal island in the middle of the sea without leaving a single trace? They checked the rig's logs. The operations log, the weather log, the communications log, everything was normal up until 2:13 a.m. Then, all entries just stopped. The last weather report noted calm seas and light winds. The last operational entry was a routine pressure check on a subsea valve. Nothing was out of the ordinary. It was this abrupt end to all activity that was the most chilling clue of all. Something happened at 2:13 a.m. that brought the entire operation of a multi-million-dollar oil rig to a dead halt. Theories began to fly. Was it a sudden silent release of a toxic gas? Experts were brought in to test the air quality. They found nothing. Every system on the rig was functioning perfectly. Was it a mass abduction? The idea of pirates or a hostile foreign power boarding a North Sea rig and kidnapping over 100 people without a single distress call being sent was deemed highly improbable, almost absurd. The idea of a collective, sudden mental break was floated, but dismissed as medically impossible. The investigation was hitting a dead end. The families of the crew were desperate for answers that no one could provide. The company that owned the rig was facing a public relations nightmare and an unsolvable operational crisis. The Oakhaven platform became a symbol of the unexplainable, a modern maritime Marie Celeste. For weeks, the story was front-page news, but with no new evidence, it slowly faded into the realm of legend and internet forums. But the story doesn't end there. One piece of evidence was overlooked in the initial chaos. It was found days later by a secondary forensic team, tucked away in the radio operator's office. It wasn't the main communications log, which was silent, but a small personal microcassette recorder. The operator, a man named David Jones, was known for making personal audio diaries, a way to pass the long, lonely hours. Investigators believed it might contain his final thoughts before whatever happened. They pressed play, and what they heard was far more disturbing than they could have ever imagined. This is the transcript of that final recording. The audio quality is poor, filled with static and the low hum of the rig's machinery. But David Jones's voice is clear, and the fear in it is unmistakable. The recording starts with a yawn. Jones is clearly tired. He says, "Log entry, October 17th. It's gotta be around 2 a.m. Another quiet shift. Can't wait to hit the sack. Been hearing some weird stuff tonight though. At first I thought it was just the rig settling, you know? The usual groans and creaks. But this is different." He pauses. You can hear him shift in his chair. It's like a song. A low hum, almost below the level of hearing. It started about an hour ago. A few of the guys on the drill floor mentioned it too. Called it a whale song. But we all know there aren't any whales like that around here. It seems to be coming from below. From the water. There's a long silence on the tape, maybe 30 seconds. All you can hear is the low thrum of the rig. Then his voice returns, but it's changed. It's a hushed whisper, filled with a new tension. Okay, this is getting weird. The hum is getting louder. It's not just in my head, I can feel it. The whole platform is vibrating with it. It's a beautiful sound, in a way. But it's making my teeth ache. Everyone's gone quiet. I just looked out the window. The guys on deck, they've all stopped working. They're just standing at the railings, staring down at the water. You can hear the sound of a door opening and closing. Jones is clearly agitated now. His breathing is quick. I went out to the walkway. It's everyone. The entire night shift. They're all just standing there. I called out to Mike, the shift supervisor. He didn't even turn around. He just stood there like a statue. They're all just staring at the sea. And the water is glowing. A faint blue-green light, pulsing with the hum. It's coming from deep down. Panic starts to seep into his voice. I don't know what this is. I'm back in the radio room. I should call it in, right? I should call Mayday, but I don't want to. It feels wrong. The sound is calling. It's telling me to come. It's telling me everything will be okay. It's so peaceful. His voice becomes dreamy, almost mesmerized. Such a beautiful light, a beautiful song. All the pain. It'll just wash away, all the worries. Gone. Then a sudden jolt. A clatter, as if the recorder has been dropped. Jones's voice is back, sharp with terror. No, what am I thinking? I have to warn them. It's a trap. His voice is cut off by a loud, piercing tone that fills the recording, the same humming sound but now overwhelmingly powerful. It's a chord of sound that seems to vibrate right through your bones. Underneath the tone, you can hear shouting. Not from Jones, but from outside. A cacophony of voices, not in panic, but in something else. Exultation? Then, the sound of running footsteps. The door to the radio room bursts open. Jones screams, a short, sharp cry of pure terror. Stay back. Don't look at it. Oh God, their eyes. The recording is filled with chaotic noise, a struggle. Jones is yelling, it's not real. Wake up, it's not real. Another voice, calm and melodic, can be heard over the struggle, but the words are unintelligible, almost a different language. Then, there's a final guttural scream from Jones, which is abruptly cut short. The humming sound stops. The struggling stops. For a few seconds, there's only the sound of gentle lapping water. Then, a soft, wet, dragging sound moving away from the microphone, And then silence. The tape clicks off. That was the last thing ever heard from the Oakhaven platform. The recording was classified, buried in the official report as inconclusive. To this day, the 115 crew members remain missing, presumed lost at sea. The rig itself was eventually decommissioned, a silent monument to an unsolved mystery. What was the source of the hum? What was the strange light in the water? And what did David Jones see in the eyes of his crewmates in those final terrifying moments? Some mysteries, it seems, are destined to be swallowed by the sea.